I am back. I'm so sorry for being away, you guys. It has been about 3 weeks and things have been just totally insane, just busier than usual, and I didn't even think that that was possible, but I've been in and out of town and it's just been so hard to keep up with my YouTube videos, but I am in town for one day and I leave again tomorrow, so I knew I had to make a video for you guys. I was at a gala this past Saturday in North Carolina, and so many of you commented on my makeup on Instagram and you asked for a tutorial, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. The look I was going for was something a little bit more edgy to contrast my really elegant and classic dress. It didn't turn out quite as edgy as I wanted it to be, but it was just an exaggerated thick winged liner with a little bit of olive smokiness at the bottom lash line. So you guys seem to love it, so here we go. Keep watching to see how I created the look. I'm going to take my RCMA palette, which I love. I use this in my Summer Glow makeup tutorial, and it's just the most beautiful, just highly pigmented foundation. It's a great formula. So I'm going to take a little bit of probably this color right here, just because I've been a little bit darker lately, and I just like that healthier tan color. I'm just going to put this on my palette right here. So next I'm taking one of my favorite foundations, the Makeup Forever HD in 123, which is the perfect tone for me, but at this point it's just a little bit too light, so I'm adding that, as well as a darker foundation by EX1. This line is specifically geared at olive skin types, and it's a little bit darker. This is the F400 color, so I'm going to add that into the mix a little bit more, and then I'm just going to take that spatula and mix all of these together, the cream and the liquid. Okay, so once all of that is mixed, I'm going to take a wet beauty blender. You always want to use this wet or damp. I'm going to grab that and just dip into the product and start applying. And so this color nicely matches the rest of my body. My face is usually a bit lighter than the rest of my body, but I always try to color match it so that I don't look too pale. The worst thing is taking pictures and then your shoulders like dark and your face is light. So you can see, even though I have amazing coverage, it still doesn't look like I've got a ton of makeup on, and that's what I really like about mixing. You're sort of getting the best qualities of each product that you're mixing together. Alright, so the next step is probably my favorite step, which is highlighting. I'm going to take my Motives Sculpt Series palette in Fire. This one's more geared toward warmer skin types. There's also the Ice palette, which is better for cooler skin types. So this one's got 3 warm colors and 1 cool color. So I'm going to mix this light warm color a little bit with that cool color, just to cancel out any darkness I might have. I'm just going to go in and lay down the color all the way across, extending out to my cheekbone, and let that sort of sit. I'm not going to put on a ton of product, just enough to give me a good healthy highlight. And then I'm just going to hit the outer corners of my mouth just to cancel out any shadows. And just a little bit at the center of my forehead. I'm going to grab my beauty blender again, and I'm going to go in and blend this all out. And it's just going to give me the most natural looking finish. You can see I'm sort of stippling it in as opposed to strokes. It's really going to help it to blend together much better. Alright, next up I want to move on to the blush, and I'm going to take my little Tiny Z palette that I've got here with 4 blush colors, and I think the one I'm going to use is by Motives, and it's called Baby Doll. It's just a nice, really soft pink. So I'm going to take my blush brush. This is my favorite blush brush, by the way. It's by Pirouette Professional. Really awesome brush for blush. Just going to start working that in. Now for my contour, I'm going to go in with a powder bronzer. This is the Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced, which is a really good matte bronzer. And I'm just going to go in for a little bit of light contouring. Nothing too heavy for me because my face is already pretty contoured. And a little bit at my hairline as well. So that does it for the face. Now I'm going to move on to the eyes. Now to save time, I've already got one eye done, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the other eye, beginning with my primer. To prime my lids, I'm using the Julep Blank Canvas. This is a really good matte, light colored base. I'm just going to apply that to my lid and then blend it out just with my finger. So for this look, the shadows that I used are from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is a gorgeous palette. I'm going to first dip into this neutral transition color. It's got a little bit of red in it, so it might look slightly pink once I put it on. And I'm going to start just at the center of my crease and start blending that out. So really, this look is going to be all about blending. So now with each step, I'm going to take a fluffier blending brush and just go through and blend out the edges. The next neutral I'm going to take is this color right here. It's just a tad darker. And again, starting at that center point of the crease, just blending it a little bit further down, just slightly. So with each dark color that I add, I'm going to be covering less area than the color before. So that's what's going to create that nice gradient. So I'm going back to my blending brush, just blending those together. And the final color I'm going to add with this brush is this medium brown shade right here. Not taking too much product, just a little bit. And again, covering even less area than the color before. And then with that blending brush, just blend it out. You don't want to blend down too much because I still want to keep this lid area pretty light. And then I'm going to take a pointed brush. It's still pretty fluffy, but it has a bit of a point. And I'm going to go into the darkest neutral right here at the corner. And again, I'm not taking too much color. And I'm going to start just laying it down, starting at the outer corner and just blending it in toward the crease. So really delicate process. And once again, going back to that blending brush, just blending out those edges. And finally, just to blend everything together, I'm going to take that fluffy brush that I've been blending with and dip into the matte vanilla shade down here and just go through and kind of blend everything together. I'm also going to take that color and just lay it down on my lid, just so I have some shadow on there. It's not just the primer. And just blend it together with that dark color. Okay, now we're putting the shadows away for a minute, and I'm going to go into the eyeliner. And for that, I'll be using the Standout Eyes by Sigma, and the color is called Wicked. It's just a nice, deep black color. And I'm going to take my angled liner brush. I'm going to take a bunch of product out, and same as I did with my foundation, I'm just going to put the product on there so that it's easier to pick up, so I don't have to keep going back into the tub of liners. So I'm going to start at the very inner corner, and again, this is going to be a pretty thick line, at least thick for me. So I'm going to already start out with a heavy hand. So I'm going to kind of outline the liner first, close my eye, and just follow that natural curve of my eyeball. That's hard to do, but it takes practice, but it is the best way to kind of map out your liner. So just let the brush go. Let it just, with the very tip of that angle, it just kind of glides on its own. So that's the best tip I can give you for eyeliner. And then let's draw out that wing. Make sure it matches the other side. And then I can sort of go in and fill in the rest of the liner. I'm going to just kind of color in the line. Alright, I think that's about right. Now I want to intensify the liner by going in and darkening the inner rim of my top lash line. So I'm just going to add that liner on the inside. Try not to take my eye out. So now I can move on to the bottom lash line. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a flat liner brush, and I'm going to go back into that dark brown matte shade. And using this color Wet, actually, I'm going to grab my setting spray and just spray that. I'm going to go in and start intensifying the bottom lash line. I'm going to go over it and extend it with more of an olive shimmery color. So now with a smudge brush, I'm going to go into that shimmering olive shade. It's a beautiful color. And I'm also going to use this Wet. So I just start layering over that and extending it downward. So creating just a really smoky bottom lash line. That, of course, I'm going to go in and blend out slightly. So now with that same smudge brush, I'm going into the gold color up here. And again, I want to use that Wet. Not too wet, I'm holding it pretty far away. And I'm going to go just into this inner area of my lash line and just add a little hint of that gold color. Just going to give it a little more dimension. Now, one last thing I want to do with the bottom lash line is take a little bit more of that black liner and just darken the bottom lash line. Okay, it is now time for my mascara, and I'm using this new one by Too Faced. And I'm just going to work that into my lashes. So here are the lashes that I used on this eye, but again, I chopped them up, and the reason I did that is because I like varying lengths in lashes. I don't like them to all be one sort of uniform length, so I like to leave space in between. So that's why I'm going to cut them up, and where I cut honestly is up to just chance, really. I don't have any kind of strategy. What I do like to do is keep the longest ones sort of in the middle to really make the eyes look awake. So here's a little piece that I just cut out. Just apply right on my lash line. And you know, the Wispies are a beautiful pair of lashes on their own, so you don't have to do this. I just kind of wanted to. So again, you can see there's a little bit of space in between the lashes, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Alright, so lashes are done. I sort of like how this one turned out a little bit better than this one because there's a little bit of crossover and like just different directions, more wispiness, less uniformity, so I kind of like this one a little bit better than that. Now for the lips, I'm going to do a lipstick gloss combo. These are both by Lorac, and this is the Alter Ego lipstick in Centerfold. This is one of my favorite colors from this collection. Just going to put that on first. This is a really matte nude shade. I love it, but I do want to add a little bit of shine to it. So I'm going to take the Lips with Benefits gloss, and this color is called Josh. There's also a color called Chuck, which is my favorite, but that's more of a nude. This is a little more on the pink side. So that is it for this look. It's pretty dramatic. It's a little bit edgy. I hope you loved it. If you did, give it a like and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys once again for your patience. I love you so much, and I will see you next time.